Hello everybody and welcome back to the Youth Ledger. Today's guest is Anirudh Mazumder, a standout student, researcher, innovator and future Stanford undergraduate studying computer science and mathematics. From conducting medical AI research at Harvard and Stanford to founding KidneyChain and FuturaSustain, he's worked at the intersection of health, tech and policy. He's also been part of programs like Non-Trivial, Youth in Policy, and JSEP. And today we dive into his journey and see what's next.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to be meeting you. Talk to you. So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. So I came across your LinkedIn the other day and I saw all your achievements. So I wanted to connect with you. And my first question on my list I have here, we'll go through it, is what would you say your core interests or missions are?
Yeah. So I'm interested in so a lot of my work throughout the past few years has been in research. More specifically, I'm interested in creating computational tools or AI systems to help save human lives. So that entails kind of everything, creating AI systems for energy systems, or creating artificial intelligence algorithms that can help in healthcare scenarios. So I don't know, I'm really, really interested in artificial intelligence techniques and kind of how they can be applied to help other people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, AI is a big thing coming up. So many applications we can use it for. So it's a growing field. Also, it's said that you are going to start at Stanford for computer science and mathematics. Was that always your goal, and what helped shape your decision?
Yeah. So yeah. Stanford University was most definitely my dream school. I realistically could never have asked for anything more or better, especially as someone who's interested in computer science and artificial intelligence. Stanford is home to artificial intelligence. Two notable professors, Dr. Andrew Ng and Dr. Fei Li, are both, they created half the AI algorithms we use today. So, real, I never could have, asked for or even dreamed of a better, opportunity than attending Stanford, especially to study computer science. Um, and I think Stanford is also an incredible opportunity for even other areas, because obviously San Francisco, the Bay Area, is buzzing with startups, especially like you said earlier in this artificial intelligence day and age. So I feel like Stanford is the best location, the best, opportunity I could have gotten out of college applications.
Okay, that's awesome. Stanford is an amazing school. I would love to go. I have many friends who would love to go. Do you have any specific advice for Stanford that you think helped you get in?
Um, I think I think the one interesting part of college applications is how diverse everybody is. Um, I think that everyone should pursue what they want. Um, I know that sounds very cliche, that's very generic, but I would like to emphasize that's the point. Schools pick what they believe will be the best community. One part about me is I really like music, so I wrote about my love for music. And when I met the Stanford admission officer, she mentioned something about my, love of certain artists and their music. So everyone should do what they want and tell their own story. There is no method to the madness, at least not that I've seen. Especially like, for example, I REA'd to a different school, not Stanford. And that's the school my brother is currently attending. I never got in, or I'm still on the wait list. But like, you know what I mean, right? College applications, it's a stressful time, it's a busy time, but it comes down to capitulating your story. I don't think any one person's story will ever be the same as any other person's story. So I think everyone should just pursue what they want to. For me, that was AI, right? And that's probably for a lot of students across the country right now because of how the system's like impacting the world and just articulate your story.
Okay, that sounds awesome. What was the school that your brother got into and you're on the wait list on? If you don't mind, of course.
Yeah. My brother is currently attending Harvard University.
Okay.
Sorry, Harvard College because undergrad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go one by one here about all your different experiences. So first, research. What was it like working at Harvard Medical School, or speaking of Harvard Medical School on sleep and Alzheimer's?
Yeah. Um, you know, I think I don't know how to put it straightforward, but I really, really like research. I fully envision a future for myself in research. Um, Research is such an intriguing thing, and I've been blessed by the opportunity to work with a ton of different mentors at a ton of different institutions, right? And that's the beauty of research is like it doesn't matter where you do it, what exactly you're doing it on. At the end of the day, you're producing new knowledge that will help others and help the world. And that's like I said earlier, that's the goal. I just want to create tools that other people can use, gain more information. Working at Harvard Medical School, I'm privileged with under working Dr. Hauchi's son, who is an incredible mentor. I truly cannot, profess how integral he's been to like my experience in high school and obviously going forward. Because at the end of the day, everything is about, lived experiences. You don't know what you're good at until you've tried something. You don't know what you're bad at until you've tried something. You don't know what you're comfortable with until you've done it. And that's the beauty of research is there's so many things to explore, so many things to do. And he introduced me to a fully different research topic from what I've ever done before. It's not traditional artificial intelligence techniques. So I've been able to read books, read papers about our research, research idea project, and I've learned a lot, and we're still working on it, and we're pretty close to closing out this project, and hopefully I can work on more in the future.
Okay, awesome. Um, you also participated in research experience for undergraduates, including the Cyber AI NSF program. What was the most surprising thing you learned about smart infrastructure and/or cybersecurity?
Yeah, I'm actually currently at the REU site. So I'm here for this summer. I started in late May, and then I'm gonna finish in early August. But so far, I think the intersection of cybersecurity and artificial intelligence has been really, really cool. My current project is on creating this multimodal graph neural network that can, it can detect anomalies in autonomous vehicles. Uh, so think about, I mean, it's a very interesting problem because of how many things there are, integrated inside of this, singular concept. For example, a autonomous vehicle will collect multiple modalities or types of data. Think LiDAR scans or 3D point clouds. You'll think camera, videos, audio data, sensor data, like accelerometer data, right? There's so many different, pieces to the puzzle. And I think it's been really, really interesting to see not only how AI can, be applied to a field like this, because I never, until I came here and learned about this project, I never envisioned AI for an application like this. And it's also been really cool to learn how to break down such a big task, such a big problem with so many different factors, so many different modalities, different algorithms, different techniques. Break it down piece by piece, approach it step by step, and then eventually I'm close to finishing our prototype for our model.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So autonomous vehicles, you mean as Tesla, I think, deployed today or yesterday in the Bay Area. No, it was in Austin. I believe. The cyber cabs, I think, is what they're calling it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're calling it. But yes, autonomous vehicles is in like fully automated systems.
Okay. So how has your thinking about health-related technology and AI been shaped by your experiences at UNT in the microbiome and lung disease classification? If I'm not wrong, I believe, did you attend TAMS or?
Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah. I've been blessed by the opportunity, work under a multitude of different mentors, PIs through UNT, different institutions, and lung disease detection was, one of the projects I worked at UNT, and I think it's really cool. Again, at the end of the day, I'm interested in creating tools that will help other people in any way that seems feasible, right? And working at UNT showed me working as a researcher at UNT showed me multiple different ways, like the lung disease detection and computer vision algorithm, right? I ended up using large vision transformers, pre-trained vision transformers, concatenate them together and then, produce some accuracy metrics and so on and so forth. I also worked under Dr. Rajiv Azad um, on identifying novel microbes that are correlated with having COVID-19 versus not having COVID-19. And those are two fully different things. One is a classification of lung diseases based on X-ray scans, directly for medical use. Another is identifying novel, traits that could potentially mean you have COVID-19, changes in shifts in your gut microbiome or, your gut microbiome, nasal microbiome, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they both have such critical application for healthcare, right? One of them is a direct, prediction algorithm. The other has the ability to, shed light on possible, microbes to investigate in wet lab scenarios or clinical scenarios and understand why are these microbes having such a higher, correlation with having COVID-19 versus not.
So, how could this technology be implemented in the coming future? Maybe through government support, or do you think if companies took a hold of it, that would be a better process?
I think we have a long way to go for algorithms like these to be used in the future. I think that the bioinformatics project, the gut microbiome project I worked under Dr. Azad on, that one is very clear application in further research. I think at the end of the day it's direction for researchers who can go into a wet lab and test this out. Why exactly does this microbe cause this? For classification algorithms, I think it's more nuanced because those are primarily related to real clinical scenarios, which obviously has its two sides to the coin because on one end, yes, it could potentially automate and speed up these processes, but on the other end, it also may lead to incorrect results, incorrect outputs. There's bias in these models. So I think that there's more work to be done on the AI front to make those algorithms viable options. But obviously, we're in the age of big data, so making bigger data sets could possibly be a direction. I think there's a lot of things to consider. AI regulation is obviously a very governmental issue. Will we even allow these AI algorithms to infiltrate, medical practices? So, yes, I think there's a future for it. I just think that there's a lot to be done to, actually create that feature and, enact it for us.
Okay. So, your LinkedIn profile also mentions you co-founded KidneyChain, which blends blockchain with organ transport logistics. How does this work, and how did you come up with that idea?
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm currently working on KidneyChain. Me and my friend, who's a former TAM student as well, he is a rising sophomore at Brown University, and we founded it together. And so KidneyChain is pretty much, the idea is the current organ transplantation system has lots of inefficiencies and problems. Whether that be traditionally there's socioeconomic disparities, things like that. So we want to create a system that can alleviate and address these major problems in the system. That could be transparency, that could be efficiency. There's a multitude of things to address in this general field, general space. So we are currently building, like you said, a blockchain-based platform to host all of the information in a secure and privatized way for these patients. Then we will use artificial intelligence algorithms that we're currently building to help make optimal donor-patient matches to hopefully create a faster and more viable scenarios and hopefully better kidney care for patients down the line. And this idea is actually just like me and Kapil we were just, I don't know, we were just working on a research project together one day, and then we were like, we should pursue this. This is really cool and it's really, really interesting. And Kapil, he's actually a advocate for the National Kidney Foundation and has been an advocate for the past 9 years. So he goes to Congress every year and he, talks about how can we, better kidney care because of his personal relation to it. So we talked to lots of members of the NKF, and they were like, "This is an idea worth pursuing." So we kind of ran with it, and hopefully soon we will have a MVP of the AI algorithm. Get ready for production and putting it into hospital systems to help save lives.
That sounds awesome. Is it registered as a non-profit, and is it just you two, or is there a bigger team, or what's the current organization looking like?
Yeah, it's a limited liability company. So technically, it could go for profit. It currently, obviously, is non-profit because we haven't sold anything to anyone or provided a service, right? But yes, we have a chief technical officer who's part of our team, and then we have onboarded a few interns for the summer.
Okay, awesome. I was going to ask you about the National Kidney Foundation, but you answered that in my first question, so it works out well. You're also running FuturaSustain, which builds AI tools for environmental health. Can you explain what that platform does?
Yeah. So FuturaSustain is also a thought product of me and my friends working together on a research slash hackathon project. It was a combination of a few different things. So we're trying to create a system or a app pretty much that can efficiently tell you in a new location how good the environmental health is, right? We have a lot of different metrics. We have air quality metrics, water quality metrics, tons of different metrics, but no holistic way of representing my environment in X region is good or bad, right? So we're interested. So I created this machine learning algorithm that can it takes air quality and water quality data and can output a representation of how good the region is. But it also, and the reason machine learning is, kind of important here is it provides us information as to, what features are important for us to interrogate in the future. For example, we found that SPM, small particulate matter 2.5, I think that's 2.5 millimeters, I may be wrong there. That is particularly correlated to having a poor environment. So that's again, that's direction. What can we do in the future now? Build machines that can take small particulate matter out of our atmosphere's air, which can potentially increase air quality and obviously downstream, most importantly, improve the environment that we live in. Hopefully we'll thrive for the time humans are alive.
As someone interested in the more econ side of AI, just a quick question in my head. Did better environments correlate with more affluent regions? Or was that not something that you guys investigated?
It's a great question. It is not something we investigated. Because at the end of the day, machine learning AI algorithms are functionally defined by data sets you use. So we focus on air quality, water quality data. But yeah, that's definitely a good direction to look at in the future.
I was just wondering. I feel like maybe more affluent areas could collect more tax money, and that would be used to better help the environment or sustain it. But I don't know what the correlation would be there. 100%. Huh.
Yeah, there's a chance. Again, that's the beauty of this day and age. Anyone can build an AI machine learning algorithm, and there's so much data out there. If someone's willing to collect it, these are all investigatable questions. That's the beauty of research. Just create a question, you investigate it.
You also worked at the University of Pennsylvania Center for Learning Analytics. How did AI actually help track student engagement?
Yeah, so at UPenn, part of the PCLA, we were working with this Minecraft mod, which it all comes together, although that's not a non-trivial way of interrogating a question like that. A Minecraft mod called Whimsy. So we were part of this larger project called Whimsy, and it was a project that's working in conjunction with University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And this project, so Whimsy is a Minecraft mod that aims to teach students STEM concepts. So they'll learn things like gravity by exploring Minecraft. It's an engaged way to learn critical STEM concepts. So we were interested in how can we measure. So my role, at least, was to figure out when a student is their engagement to the game or to learning the STEM concepts gets detracted while playing in this Minecraft mod, right? So we have this major data set of students who've played this Minecraft mod and engaged. So I was interested in how can I create markers that can specifically tell me when a student is not following directions or not being engaged in the end task of learning STEM concepts. So then once I flagged that student, or at that moment in time, one of the investigators in the room who's conducting the trial or collecting data can go in and ask them, why are you disengaged? Collect emotion data, or as we call affects, collect all this information so we can figure out how can we better engage students in real STEM learning environments.
Did you find any solid conclusion as to why the students would disengage, or was it for a variety of reasons?
There's a lot of reasons, and there's obviously tons of intangibles, or I guess maybe not intangibles, but things that are not measurable to us, like what is their emotional state, right? Things like that. We did, so in preliminary studies, my professor, PI, found that one reason that students get disengaged easily is when working in teams. They end up using the chat to not, interact with each other, but to just talk, right? Not follow the procedure they're trying to, and learn the concepts they're trying to. So that's a possible thing that might get them disengaged from the task. There were lots of different possibilities for leading to disengagement, and that's the beauty of the study is they're going into classrooms, seeing students interact, interviewing them to collect all this data so we can potentially make downstream conclusions.
Okay, makes sense. So from the World Science Scholars to the Dartmouth JSEP program, you've been selected for some really selective and high-level cohorts. What's it like being in those rooms? And how has that shaped your thinking? And how would you recommend others to pursue similar goals? No, that's a loaded one.
That's a good question. It's a great question. I think everyone should pursue what they want to. And World Science Scholars and JSEP, Dartmouth's JSEP, were incredible opportunities, right? They were in fully different areas. The World Science Scholars is a unique 50-student cohort of kids from a vast area. We had middle schoolers who were perfecting the USMA-MTS exam, right? Geniuses. We had a Koch scholar in this year. We had RSIs in this year. The World Science Scholars is a incredible crop of 50 students, right? And we're all passionate about STEM, mathematics, and learning about these important fields. So World Science Scholars was an opportunity for us to take courses under Nobel laureates and distinguished professors in a variety of fields. For example, Wolfram Alpha. We took a course under Professor Wolfram, who developed a lot of Wolfram Alpha. And it was about computation and how algorithms are built and made, and how we can use numbers to represent data and such. We did a course under Dr. Brian Greene on relativity and quantum physics. So we did a course on neurobiology, right? And if my profile is not very biology, but that's the beauty of a cohort like this, right? It's 50 students who are, an incredible community that we are able to form throughout this program. And then we're being mentored by some of the best professors at their fields, learning a variety of different topics that are incredible and incredibly taught. JSEP is similar in the cohort, right? They chose, I don't remember the number, but I feel like it was 20 students maybe. Don't quote me on that one, but they pick a pretty selective cohort of students we spent 2 weeks, learning about critical environmental sciences concepts. And again, under Dartmouth professors, PhD students, and we also end up getting the opportunity to go to Greenland and actually conduct research in the field. Right? Excuse me. So, like you said, right, they're incredible opportunities, incredible experiences. I think what really defines the opportunities is the group of people at the end of the day. Because opportunities, come and go. We take tons of classes throughout our time in high school, middle school, elementary school, and college, right? But the group of people you meet, they stick forever. And that's particularly representative for like some of the other programs I've done too. And that's the beauty of these programs. Now, how I recommend students, kind of get engaged and, shoot their shot at these programs is, I think if you know what you're interested in, I think the floodgates are open, right? Opportunities can be made by yourself. They don't have to be like programs per se. You can I emailed professors to get research opportunities, right? I think students can, find, these programs after identifying what they're interested in. And if you're not interested in something specific yet, right? Obviously, college is a time to learn what you want to do with your life, right? Then that's also perfectly fine. You can just apply to anything that seems, I think I can gain valuable, information from this program. Like the World Science Scholars, I recommend to just about anybody because, I mean, I took a physics course, I took a neurobiology course, I took a computational mathematics course. Like, they teach us everything. There is no specific thing you should be good at, right? Whereas JSEP might be a little bit more, like fine-tuned for environmental sciences, but that's okay, right? You apply, and at the end of the day, I think my biggest recommendation is just apply to as many things as you can that interest you. I don't think you should apply to, like things that aren't going to be worth your while or interesting to you, but I do think that at the very least shoot your shot. I've been rejected. I know I've been accepted to lots of programs throughout the past few years, but I've been rejected from double or triple as many programs I've been accepted to. So, I've become accustomed to getting rejected, and that's just part of the game, part of life, especially college applications.
Okay. So personally, I am interested in econ, public policy, and AI, and where that all goes together. I saw that you also worked at the health policy lead at the Youth in Policy and at the MIT Policy Hackathon. How did these influence how you see healthcare systems?
Yeah, I think so. YIP, Youth Institute for Policy. Our goal is to educate youths on different policy topics throughout the country, throughout the world. And as a health policy lead, I got to really dive deep, learn so much more about healthcare and, policy system than I ever would have learned if I was not part of YIP, right? So I think being part of the organization in and of itself was an incredible learning experience. But being a lead, really taught me more about, it just taught me to be cognizant and open-minded about all the different things that happen. Like, even though I was a lead for a solid while, I don't know everything there is to know about health policy in this country because it's so much, right? And people just need to learn that we will not understand and learn everything, but as long as we're open-minded and we're willing to, interact and, interrogate the thoughts about these different health policies, that's enough, right? Being cognizant is the best thing you can do. And the MIT Health Policy Hackathon also, I got to use data science to create these insights into governmental systems and policy systems, and create policy proposals based off of these insights. So it showed me end to end how a policy might be formed. Right, you have a hypothesis, you use computer science, whatever field research, collect this data, interrogate it, run models, whatever. Take this output, and then you can form that into a real world policy action that might get implemented in the future.
So I also saw that you're currently involved with the Non-Trivial Fellowship. How is that going so far?
Yeah, the Non-Trivial Fellowship is also, again, an incredible opportunity, and it's largely defined by how incredible this cohort is. Right, the fellowship is a pretty self-motivated opportunity for us to conduct research on any topic that we're interested in. So Non-Trivial is an organization or nonprofit, I believe, that runs this program. So step one is a research foundations program. So you learn the foundations of how to conduct research, how to make a hypothesis, how to interrogate your thoughts. And it teaches you about lots of different things. Taught us about how many animals are killed a year, what are important problems in the world, what are things worth focusing on, right? After the research foundations program, we get to cultivate our own proposal. We apply, we do interviews, and then I was selected for the fellowship, which I'm currently a part of. And it's the cohort that defines it. I've talked to these people quite a bit, and they're incredible people who are doing like incredible things. And even though I don't understand what half of them are doing, because they're so high level, so interesting in their own rights and fields, I get to learn. I get to learn new things. I get to meet new people, and that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. I know the group of people you're with affects you a lot. So I have 2 questions left. My second to last one is for students like me and others who want to engage in a lot of research. I love research. I'm currently exploring my first opportunity and it's amazing. So in topics such as policy, tech, and service, what would you recommend starting with? Or programs that you think had an especially outsized or large impact on your journey?
Yeah. I think before I answer, I think I should at least express my, I cannot truly emphasize how much, how many great things, how lucky I've been, to have the mentors I've had, to have all these research opportunities, have all these PIs that have shaped me, taught me different things, opened my eyes and opened the horizons to all these different research experiences. And for me, that's been advice side, that's been computational physics, that's been straight computer science algorithms, that's been wet lab material sciences last summer, right? So I've touched a good variety of research experiences, and I think to maximize your interest in research, I think my kind of recommendation is first find something you're interested in. Lots of times professors are willing to just interact with students who are really interested in their topics, even though they may not take you on as their research undergraduate or research student. At the very least, getting more insight into fields is direction, right? And I have a friend who was really, really interested in a certain supply chain problem that a UPenn professor worked on, and he just emailed them, shot a shot, and that the professor was gave him critical insights, and now he's working on a full project based off of the information he gained. So I think first of all, you gotta try, gotta email people, you gotta find what you're interested in, and that's also that's another thing is don't do something you're not interested in. I understand college applications is a lot about how good is your resume, what things have you done, does it impact people. I know it's easy to be disillusioned by things like that, but I don't think research will ever be fun or interesting if you're not doing something you're truly, truly passionate about. So if you are cold emailing, a professor or for a research experience, I highly recommend, and this is something that Dr. James Duban at the University of North Texas taught us. He's our Associate Dean for Research at TAMS. Read on what the professor is doing, right? And if you read their papers and you're I'm not interested in this, don't apply to something that you're not interested in, because trust me, it will not be a fun time. You will not be motivated, you will not get anything out of it, and that's all research is. It's all about what are you interested in actually making an impact. And for some people, that's a variety of different things. This year, I saw a project that did incredibly well at research competition. Was about how the mathematics behind how water droplets move, right? That's really, really niche. But hey, if you're interested in that, go for it. It's such a cool topic, right? Seeing somebody be able to create a 15 variable equation on how water droplets move is mind blowing. When I looked at the paper, I could not comprehend it, right? Because it's that high level, and that's proof that whoever did the research, they were truly invested into the work they were doing, and they were passionate about it, right? And that's how it should be. You should be passionate about the work you do, and you just gotta try. You gotta email people. You gotta be excited, and then opportunities come and go. And if something does not go your way, that's totally fine. You just move to the next.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I've been cold emailing a few professors. We'll see how that goes. So finally, what's next for you at Stanford or in the future? Do you have any big projects you're thinking about tackling soon?
Yeah, I have a few things. again, I love AI, I love research, so I'm constantly thinking about new ideas, new things to work on. At Stanford, again, I want to, I'm at the heart of AI and computer science, so I want to like internalize it, right? And throughout my 4 years at Stanford, I want to try everything. I'm gonna try startups. I'm gonna try, big tech. Obviously, if the opportunity comes, right? Because that's how everything works. And I'll, dabble my feet in just about anything that interests me. While I'm at Stanford. And obviously, one big thing that I'm considering right now is getting a PhD in the end. So, finding research things at Stanford, continuing my portfolio. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, probably going to do at Stanford. In terms of projects, I have lots of, ideas. We'll see if they come to reality, but currently, obviously I want to hopefully make this complete anomaly detection system for AVs. I think there's a very big, impactful, I think it's a very impactful project, but there's also a big scope. So hopefully I can, push it. I'm also for KidneyChain, creating the AI algorithm. We recently got access to a major data set that we've parsed this morning. So we have millions of lines of data now. So now for like as an AI machine learning, kind of data scientist, this is heaven because I have data, right? So now we're gonna, dabble in a few different AI architectures that we brainstormed earlier today, and we'll see where that goes. Obviously, again, it's a big scope project, so we'll take it step by step and see how that ends up. I'm interested in, creating more. I guess under my Harvard Medical School professor, we're currently closing out our causality research project, and I'm working on a separate knowledge graph project. So hopefully, we can get critical results from those, and then, keep on pushing those, the barriers of those fields, and whatever application, way it forms and comes. And then I'm also under my professor at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm working on another project where we're trying to assess and quantify, how students' behaviors might change during a session where you've gone in and collected manual data, because obviously you cannot collect every student's emotion at every moment in time. So there's a lot of sampling, bias, and errors. So how can we quantify things like that? So, I mean, lots of ideas, lots of things, and, we'll see where it all leads to in the end.
Yeah, it all sounds super cool. I think my questions were perfectly timed. We only have 2 minutes left. Do you have anything you would want to talk about with me or ask me? I'm not as interesting as your research seems to be, but
No, I'm so sure that you're as interesting as me, if not more. Again, everyone has their own story to tell, and that's the beauty of humans and the world we live in.
Agreed.
I think I just want to emphasize to everybody, like, you just gotta take the opportunities that are in front of you, and make the most of what you can. Not every situation is ideal, not every situation is the best, but that's how life goes, and we won't win everything we do. We will also lose everything we don't try. So shoot your shot. Yeah, I think that's about all I have.
All right.
Yeah, but
it was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for your time and for your insight.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me, talking to me.
Of course.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
Great talking to you too. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.